pia who say billboards and kese sisi kwan so say the new force abrante bi na who say abrante na say no but max kata omo ni ma hese na bebe na person hu ho na like omota echi amechi krampo no omo spokesperson kwa yi no hu di ya say broni bi hese omo so yi no hu di no ye chene say onbo won na otata echi o so onbo din ama Ghana for some deport ababa we efi oman mu efi so onko bebe ofi but say won beti na obi man so enye de wo pe wa ha say na the new force na mi say me kan say na pese ehu won na what echi nemom na doubt amanfo bi na doubt no anye wrong there this an there new force won na what echi na oyi omonim epie ye say program na omo launch amatu ni din said the convention a horse our program says so no mu yi omu edi Jacob Caesar freedom on no na say otta echi no the new force na otta the new force no echi a odi nsem tuja the the new force no eba ni any reasons any kwan your person on fa Ghana endru sans so say Ghana dey hia mboa ye panti na ono aba so person me sesi o man no no for man ndu penso bi a say mpanyfo ba so no mo ntumi afa o man no endru inter convention as no mpanyfo a so mo ka no hu na mo no mo kasa ya mo yi mo hu di kasa kasa di o mo so de ntam so mo ta Jacob freedom Caesar echi any reasons so mo say o mo time the chair so betumi aye o man na dreams so mo wo ma o man Ghana no mo di ni na etudwa men say o be na nkotie insem aye say o mo tudwa fa on person mo fa Ghana endru the convention meeting no ase.
And for that reason I know you're looking for the man. But the man in the mask is sitting in front of you. Scared of. I came to you as your salvation. I don't invest in myself alone. I am investing in you. And truly, these innocent leaders sitting beside me, of course I will not go to them and tell them that, hey, I am a man in a mask and I want you to come to Ghana to support me to do this and this. And this man of this dignity and this woman with such power will say, yes, I'm going to follow you to come to Ghana to do your convention and all of that. No. It is part of the movement. We need to educate. We need to uplift our children. We need to voice out to them. If you are about to find out about this man in the mask, because I never spoke a word, you were looking for me. I didn't tell you whether I am into politics, whether I am an evangelist, whether I am a conventionist or a revolutionist. We have been miseducated. And so as and many others, we understand that we have failed right. And we do know that with our little wisdom and the energy and the intelligence of our youth, together we can take our Africa in a new direction. That is what we came here to do. And that is what New Africa Foundation has asked us to do. We do know that our leaders cannot lead us on their own. They need all of us. So the message that we were going to deliver to our youth today was the message of hope, the message of resilience, and the message that says the Africa we want can only be built by us for us. And for us to succeed at doing so, we must be united. That the African youth are Africa's future. Without them, there is no future for Africa. And as elders, we have a responsibility to share with them the truth and nothing. That is the message that we came here to deliver. That is what New Africa Foundation had requested us to do. We may not be at the convention center, but we intend to continue to preach the gospel of truth until we reach the promised land. I have no doubt in my mind that we will get there. Because Africa, the Africans, the people I like to describe as the beautiful, intelligent. So the mothers and fathers of humanity, we will get to the promised land. Woo! And that's why we're here.
Thank you, Mama Africa, Dr. Arikana, for leading the way. The most objective, fearless, and decisive mother we have known in Africa. Before we get to Prof, I'd like to go to your right. Prof, right? Okay, let's have Prof respond to this, and then we can move to your right. Professor Pio.
Thank you very much. My good sister, Dr. Arikana, has spoken for me, and I believe for all of us. We came here to Accra, Ghana, to share a message. The message of hope. The message that Africa needs at this time. And there is no better place in the continent of Africa to begin that message than Accra, Ghana. It is in this Accra, Ghana that the Osage for Kwame Nkrumah for 67 years ago spoke to the world and told the world that the independence of Ghana meant nothing if the continent of Africa was not free. 67 years later, we were congregating here in Accra, in the very same place where the founding fathers and mothers of Ghana congregated to share the message of hope. Invited as we were by the New Africa Foundation, with one single instruction that we have lamented for too long, agonized for too long, and the time is now to organize. That is the innocent message that we came here to deliver. And in a manner totally inexplicable to us, we are not at that venue. But is it not the wise to say, when the world serves you a lemon, ask not for an orange, make yourself lemonade? We are here therefore to say that the message will be alive and well. And you who are here, young and old, you are the conduit via which we are now telling the world that the journey of hope continues apace, not only within the continent of Africa, which is the mother continent, but to Africans in the diaspora. I have no doubt in my mind that there is a conspiracy of sorts by the elements that it has happened the way it has happened. So this is not an occasion for lamentation. It is an occasion for redoubling our efforts. And our presence here in Accra, Ghana, my good friend, Honorable Obi, my dear sister, Dr. Arikana Chihomri, wow. This is the occasion for which the English word serendipity was created. It is a serendipitous occasion that heralds a great future for the continent of Africa. So that looking forward, a meeting such as this will happen not only here in Accra, Ghana, but I look forward to a meeting such as this taking place in Ouagadougou, in Burkina, taking place in Dakar, in Senegal, in Nairobi, in Kenya, in Johannesburg, in South Africa, Addis Ababa, Ethiopia, because this is about the continent of Africa. And we say this at a time when we know that Africa has promised to herself that we are going to make more intimate our interaction. This is why the Africa Continental Free Trade Area is headquartered here in Accra, Ghana. This Accra, Ghana is where all Africans of good
Thank you. With such clarity and courage, Professor Yellow understands both the context and the concept, and it's upon the heritage of people like this that the new Africa will definitely be born, no doubt. Before we go to the question, I want to ask one of the most feared man in Nigeria right now, if I would say, Mr. Peter.
But after listening to Prof and Doctor, I don't know whether I still have anything to contribute to this. But your question, how is it for coming to, let me start by thanking the New Africa Foundation for their invitation and organizing this event. Like previous speakers are saying, we might not be at the convention, but that will not stop the conversation. We only shifted venue, so the conversation continues. We're in Ghana to start the conversation about Africa. Africa for too long has suffered, and everybody knows the reason why Africa has suffered. People can try to present it in different ways. The process speaks about it every day. Africa has been going through what it's going through because of what I always say, it is due to one problem: leadership. It is failed leadership over the years that brought Africa where it is. I want to start a conversation because of what Dr. Akana has said, talking to the youth of Africa. No continent in the world today has the potential of Africa. Not one. We are the second largest in terms of population and size, but our potential is far greater than even number one, because today Africa is the only continent that has a population of 1.1 billion youths, energetic, talented, ready to lead the world in different areas of the world. Africa is home to the biggest, highest amount of natural resources, from minerals to, we have 65% today of the world uncultivated arable land. So imagine what we can do. We can feed the world, we can do everything. But ironically, because of what I started with, failed leadership over the years, Africa is also home to the highest number of poor people. Out of the 700 million people in extreme poverty, 431 million live in Africa. Over 30% of our population. If you go to multi-dimensional poverty, out of 1.1 billion, over 60% in Africa, with Congo and Nigeria leading. Today, in the surface of the world, Congo has the highest amount of natural, call it minerals, over 24 trillion. Nigeria has similar situation. You can extrapolate Congo situation to all over Africa, where they have everything, but they are producing poverty.
When is the new force for Omodi Tuja, if I on mine, Honti, a meet no more, and on I could see more in summer. Now, when I Blakk Rasta, Siana, who say Jacob Freedom Season as a chino, on somebody to be Eddie Amani Yepa, or say, Jacob's season and so a Houdini. Into some customer to about the amount of pan, Jan Gana from Camunim, dear, where son say on there. Lions for na what to Mudia to Mufina, or show Mufidium. Nani Pebi or to say, say now some fun soon, don't the or cat, Ama will be asked what to say. Jacob Freedom Caesar, the or within ye pan, his man, or beer and what. More beer, be up as I feel up as I won't trust him. Since we won't say, oh, what kind of mouth fair or obey all my needs, and say, safe as I won't trust him neither. On to a ban and farm man on the beer, a year 24. I'm better Queen, so I say, be coming soon, and I say, one day, be no better Queen, so dear. Or can't must what to say, Jacob Freedom Caesar, within ye, pints more beer, engine indeed, caprepo, and could see a Blakk Rasta, Embra.
Young man, he's a self-made man. We were told that he used to do scraps, carrying scrap material around and selling. But in his own story, he said that he used to rent fowls and he made so much money. He's one of the richest guys. The other day I met him, he said, hey, Blakk Rasta, you look more handsome outside than on TV, you know. I said, well, I take that as a compliment. But this man here is a very wicked man.
To Blakk Rasta,
young man, he's a self-made man. We were told that he used to do scraps, carrying scrap material around and selling. But in his own story, he said that he used to rear fowls and he made so much money. He's one of the richest guys. The other day I met him, he said, hey, Blakk Rasta, you look more handsome outside than on TV, you know. I said, well, I take that as a compliment. But this man here is a very wicked man. Very, very dangerous man. You see his face like that with all the smiles. Very dirty, wicked guy. You know why? He brought 2 lions into the country. White lions. Rare breed. You know what he did with them? He deteated them. He removed all their teeth. And declawed them. Removed all their claws. Now the strength of the lion, the teeth and the claws, that's what it uses to feed. He brought them and turned them into cats and put them in a small cage in his house. So people around his house were complaining. The animals were not being bathed. They were smelling. That's them. Smelling all over the place. Hey, they are roaring. We are scared that one day these lions will just come out and eat us. They didn't know that this guy had removed their teeth. That was when Freedom Saba came out to tell us that, oh, actually the lions cannot hurt anybody. We have declawed them and removed their teeth. Bring back the lions in the cage. My brother, look how small this cage is. The lion is the king of the jungle. It takes over the whole jungle. Several millions of hectares. It controls that space. You bring it and lock it up in this tiny cage. That's an animal prison. The animal has no right. All because you have money. You go and bring these animals and lock them here. I've been talking about this all this while. In our nation, we have no respect for animals. When we see animals, we see meat. Animals are nothing but meat to us. When we see a goat walking, what comes into our mind is, me sure way, Charlie, the bon kwai mawa ube filipa. It's very sad. These animals, they have life. They love their lives the same way you love your life. You go and catch them from the jungle. Come and lock them up in prison. And you know what freedom Caesar does? He feeds them with what he feels they should eat, not what they want to eat. It's like a prison. When you are locked up, you cannot go to, in fact, the kitchen and tell the matron that today I want to eat abenkwai and nkrakra and akrantie. Can you do that? Can you do that in Sawan prison? No! They feed you with what they feel you should eat. That's how he feeds these animals. And because their teeth are gone and their claws are gone, he will feed them most of the time with liquid. Chemicals, liquid, so that you remain fat.
And also, so that was the video of Blakk Rasta or Blasty Cheddar. For our drink chair, the video, And
I found saying, some my Blakk Rasta is Suja, and I yakoti aban, so more bien, and Jacob Freedom Caesar. And the Dyson said, oh, be on Paboni ye pan, has any team soon. Into Bia, what to a year, lion since I have a good face on ye or mon, or sha, then or the on mine, backward, AV, into more beer, NG, a year the new force, no ND. And as men cock still vote and farm my Jacob Freedom Caesar de Biada. On the reasons, Eba and I could see Abanon. Time can say 3 empty phone as soon as managing media, edible, 3 empty fast print, photography, and our face air production. For saying about Mondero to farmer or Kunya or Fanamba, none penny French on common. Name about Mondero and farmer. My child will cry and bra, never better a story.